He says he sees you, he's interested, things happen quickly. So what happened from your perspective?
I'm Sierra Vaughn, I'm 25 years old, and as you can see, my ex-boyfriend, he's just not very happy because I just don't want to be with him anymore. So I think that he has me in here right now because of retaliation. He wants to be back with me, but I no longer want to be with him.
So how long were you all together?
We were dating. Just like he said, dating.
Okay.
We were dating for about 4 months.
And during those 4 months, how would you describe the relationship?
I mean, during those 4 months, he spoiled me. He knew that my love language was always gifts and quality time. So
gift and quality time.
Yes.
I'm using that. Okay, got that. He knew that was your love language. Yeah. All right, and so he was wonderful, apparently.
He fed into both my love languages, and I loved it. So
he's nodding his head that, yes, that's what I did, gifts and quality time. All right.
She's got that part of the story straight so far, Your Honor.
Oh, so she's got that part of the story straight, and you're anticipating that there's going to be a part of the story that she's not going to tell me this straight. Is that what you're getting ready to tell me?
You're in for some surprises, Your Honor.
This is not the first time I've heard this.
Yes, ma'am.
These cases come to my courtroom fairly often. So love language, gifts, and quality time. Yeah. 4 months, it sounds like things are wonderful.
So from the very first day he met me at that Halloween party, he always talked about how I dressed. He loved my fashion sense. And he told me I should start a business. He said, you should be a stylist. And I said, of course I should. I started doing research, trying to figure out how much do stylists make and everything. And, you know, he helped me do that research too. So he knew how much stylists made per hour. And he was like, oh, so my dad could be your first client. And I was excited, yay. I spent a lot of time and effort and energy on his dad's project.
Okay, hold it, because I think he's going to tell me that you introduced her to your family. So let's go back to that part of the story.
So, Your Honor, I had introduced Sierra to my father, and this is probably
This must be pretty serious from your perspective if you're bringing her home to introduce her to your father.
As I said, Your Honor, I'm very picky about who I introduce to my family, but Sierra and I had such a strong connection initially that I really could see this going forward in a very serious way.
Going forward, like permanently, like we're talking marriage, we're talking like in your life forever?
I didn't say all that.
Oh, you didn't say all that.
But I do feel like there was a potential for something very long-term with Sierra. And so when I introduced her to my father had a New Year's resolution. As soon as the year came over, he wanted to get back on the market. You know, he's an older guy. You know, my mother has been passed away for around 10 years now. So I've been trying to get him out there, and I think he finally got the message, and he wanted to get into it and was excited about it as well.
Okay.
And so, you know.
And so you encouraged her. I mean, she said that you encouraged her, you helped her with the research, and so she starts this business. So I'm understanding that you then want your father to get out. He's going to start dating, but he needs a stylist.
Your Honor, I think research is a strong word for what we did. I think we kind of wanted to see what things would look good for my father exclusively and specifically. And so her and I looked at things and looked at his wardrobe and kind of matched that to see what would fit him for the time now. Because he hasn't been out in a while dating, you know. It was probably like in the 80s when people were rocking, you know, disco balls or whatever they wore back then. But, you know, we wanted him to look up to date, and so we looked at some fashions that might fit him. And, you know, essentially, she had volunteered to do the project, almost like a family kind of bonding experience.
All right, so stop right there. His dad wants to get out, he wants to date again, and you all are talking about styling him so he can start dating, yes?
Correct.
Okay, so he used the word volunteer.
Right.
Was that the understanding?
Completely wrong.
Why?
Because I spent a lot of time on it, and when he introduced this to me, it was an actual project, my first job. So it's not, I wouldn't volunteer over 20 hours of time and energy.
Did you have a contract with Marcus? have to do this work?
I would say it was more verbal. We didn't write anything down.
What did you say? I'll do this, I'll charge you X amount of money? Did you say to Marcus, I'm going to do this, it's going to take me approximately 20 hours and I'm going to charge your father X amount of money? I doubt that you did that.
I was never going to charge his father. He wanted to do this for his father.
Well, what were you going to charge Marcus?
I was charging Marcus below $100 an hour.
Did you ever have that conversation with Marcus? Did you ever say, I estimate that it will be 20 hours that I'm going to work on this? I doubt that you ever had that conversation with him.
Well, in the car on our we had many rides to go find clothes.
Right.
In the car, I would write down my hours worked, what I did that day. And he knew I was writing it down and tallying it up.
And how much was your hourly rate?
It was about $75.
$75, and this is the first client you've ever had, and you're going to pay him. You're going to charge him $75 an hour.
Normally, especially in California, it's $100 to $250 an hour.
Yeah, but in California, $100 to $200 an hour is somebody who has a long track record of clients. You've never even done this before.
Right. So since I'm new, I wasn't charging even the minimum. I was charging way less.
So let me see this. All right, so now your father is getting styled, and what happened, Marcus?
So essentially,
for a total of $1,500?
Yes.
This isn't even the craziest part of the story. Your Honor.
This isn't the craziest part of the story?
So
okay, go ahead.
And this is the part. This is the part I'm especially embarrassed about myself, because I should have seen this from the jump that Sierra was basically trying to use me for my money, Your Honor. She got me to open up a retail store card.
Did you? Yes, on plenty of occasions.
Yes,
so that's not the problem?
That is not the problem.
Okay, so were you satisfied with what happened with her styling your father?
Yes, ma'am.
But then something went wrong because you wouldn't be in my courtroom. So what happened?
Well, following the makeover, I should say, is things in February kind of kicked off with the birthday party of a friend of ours who had actually thrown the Halloween party that we had met at. So now that we were coupled up, we kind of wanted to make a big impression, kind of do the reveal, that we were together as a couple.
All right.
And so she had texted me the night before the birthday party that she wanted to update her wardrobe as well and get a dress. And she just, she was like, hey, I got a fire dress. I want you to come check it out. I'm gonna buy it, but I don't have the money for it. And to me, this was weird. She always had her own money because I was paying for everything up to that point. So I feel
when you say paying for everything up to that point, tell me what that means.
Our outings, our dates,
okay.
If she needed anything as far as we would go on trips, we would do things like that, I would take care of all that. Because my personal belief, I'm very much based on principles, Your Honor. I believe the man should take care of his woman. I think I was taking care of that very well up to that point.
When she said she wanted this dress, did you agree that she could charge the dress on the store card?
No, Your Honor, and that's why I ended up paying out of pocket for it.
So you paid for the dress?
Yes, ma'am. But
out of pocket?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. If you look at the text message, she did say that she would reimburse me for that dress.
All right. Did you say that? Because that's what it says in this text message.
Correct. So
how much was this dress?
The dress was $300, but that's something that we always go back and forth.
Your Honor, I only found that out after the purchase.
But you paid for it.
Yes. So.
But you said I'll pay you back.
Right. I always say I'm gonna pay him back. And that's something that I'm always like, of course I'll pay you back. But then he never takes my money after I try to give it to him.
Did she ever pay you back for the dress?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So now, how did we get to the $1,476? Because I need to rule on this case. What happened?
Remember, I said that wasn't the craziest part of the story, Your Honor.
Right. I'm not even listening.
It's getting good now. So we ended up going to the birthday party, Your Honor. At the party, her and I get into a little bit of an argument about the price of the dress that she bought.
If you're going to pay for something, you need to know what you're going to pay for.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to know how much it's going to cost.
Yes, ma'am, and I'll gladly eat that cost. But that is not the issue.
That's not the issue.
No, ma'am.
Because you told me it gets more interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
But do you see how he says, I'll gladly eat that cost? He does that all the time. He'll buy me something, I'll say, I'll pay you back. And then he says, oh, I'll eat it. He doesn't care. But then this time, because I don't want to be with him anymore, I have to pay him back.
Something happened to cause you all to break up.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that? Because I absolutely know that if you all hadn't broken up, you wouldn't be in here suing her for $1,476, right?
Your Honor.
So we get to this party. Did something happen? Yes.
Can I tell you what happened? So
Please.
At the party, just like any other time we go out, he drinks a little bit too much and then he starts embarrassing me.
How so?
After 3 drinks, he's like, wait, how much did you say the dress was again? And then I tell him, you know it was $300. It's still cute. You told me it was cute. But then guess what? He gets upset. But he's only upset because he was drinking. So I left the party and then I realized I'm not going. We were going to go on a cruise with our friends. And honestly, the cruise was going to be about $1,500, $1,600.
That is not true.
So since the cruise was going to be that much, I was just going to be like, okay, fine. I guess that's the payment. But no, he didn't.
Wait a minute, that's the payment for this?
For my services.
For your services. Okay, so now let's get to the cruise. So you were always supposed to go on a cruise, and what happened?
Right, so the cruise was about to be maybe $1,500, $1,600 anyway. And of course he was gonna pay for it. But the problem here is I was gonna accept the cruise as the payment because we were together, but that wasn't fair. It just wasn't fair. I felt like he picked that argument with me at the party because he didn't want to actually pay for the cruise. He didn't want to pay me for my time. So I went ahead and I charged the card for less than the amount that he owed.
So this is the $1,476.
Yes.
You put $1,476 on a card.
Yes.
She scammed me.
It would be a scam if I didn't do a job.
Did you tell him you were going to charge this money because he hadn't paid you? Did you ever present him with an invoice?
I never presented him with the invoice. We were in the car and I wrote those with him.
How would he have known that he owed you the $1,500 if he only saw you writing it down in the car, but you never sent him an invoice? You're in business. I mean, you know, you can't have it both ways. Either, you know, it's, everything, he's going to do this, he's gifting me, it's this, that, and the other. But then you say, I am a businesswoman, my time is valuable, it's worth $75 an hour, and he owes me $1,500. Did you ever send him an invoice?
I never sent him an invoice, but when I was writing that, we talked about, okay, so I guess since the cruise is $1,600 or $1,500, the cruise was about $1,600, it was going to even it out. So if we were going on the cruise, then he didn't have to pay that.
If he always paid, what made the cruise different this time?
Well, Your Honor, I was trying to be nice. I just said, you know what, fine, then the cruise can be it. But if we weren't going on the cruise, he had to actually pay me.
So were you going to be on the cruise? I thought you were mad at him when you left the party and you left the party because you were humiliated. So you all hadn't broken up at that point?
We always do that. Every time he embarrasses me, I leave and act like we're broken up. I mean, literally, he was calling me last week.
Your Honor.
I'm just saying he was calling me last week.
So are you all together now or are you broken up?
If I say to him right now, let's just be together, I bet you we'll leave here together.
This woman is crazy, Your Honor.
If she said right now, hey, Marcus, I want to be with you, can we be together? Would you all leave this courthouse together?
I feel like when she charged these $1,476 to my account, we hadn't agreed on it, we hadn't discussed it. I feel like that was a breach of trust. That shows her character, and I don't think that's somebody I want to continue a relationship with, Your Honor.
You know what? I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. You shouldn't have charged this $1,476. You were out here just running up the bill, talking about, well, maybe this was offset, but now we're not going to go on the cruise, but he pays for everything. First of all, I think you just kind of made this up on the fly to justify the fact that you ran up a $1,476 bill, to be exact, on an account that you didn't even have the courtesy to say, you know what, I did all this for your dad, so let me say that I'll just buy these clothes and we'll be even. You didn't even have that conversation with him. So you're going to pay every single dime, $1,476, for reasons I've talked about. And that is my decision. We'll stand adjourned.